Hey, it's Vanessa of WIP Wednesday. Let's make sure that everything is working for us here. We had to do quite a few run-throughs of our technology, so let me know in the chat box whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube and if you can see me and hear me just fine. Hopefully you can, so let's just double check everything and say hi to some friends while we make sure that everything is working. Hi Jackie, hey Joyce. Joyce says, this is right up my alley. I'm putting a zipper in a pair of men's shorts right now. Awesome, because we are going to be talking about sewing pants today. Not like the sewing part of it, but I'm going to go through some different patterns and a couple resources, things that I've been looking at. I'll share with you a pair of pants that I've done. Everything's working? Good. I'll share with you a pair of pants that I made for my daughter with a very specific waistband request. And then another pair of pants that I'm working on that it's kind of going like this, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the waistband. So I'll be looking in for y'all's input as well when we get to that. Hi, Tamara. Thanks for tuning in from rainy Chicago. She says, hi, Linda. All right, we got Tracy in the house. Amanda from further, actually, that's north of us here in North Central Florida. Hi, Kathy. Good. She says you can hear me fine. Hi, Heather. Thanks. Good. I'm glad y'all can see me and hear me. Perfect. Okay. All right, so welcome to everybody who's watching us both on YouTube and on Facebook. Hopefully on the Facebook side it's working because I can only see really the YouTube comments on here. So welcome, welcome. Yes, Brenda. Good afternoon, everyone, she says, from a very warm Florida today. Definitely. It is hot and toasty, which I like. I love when the sun is out and it's hot, hot, hot. So, all right. Great. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Let's go ahead and get started. So I pulled out a couple of different pants patterns here so that we can kind of talk about a few things. Can you go ahead and give everybody my over-the-shoulder camera shot here? Fingers crossed it works. Ta-da, it's working. Great. So I pulled out a couple of books that have some resources in them and then a couple of patterns. So first, and we're talking all about pants. So the first one you can see very well loved, lots of sizes listed here. This is the Jalie Clara. These are leggings. So I'm not really going to talk about these too much, but I did kind of want to touch on that because if you are looking for a comfortable legging shorts, capris, or full length pattern here that have no center front seam down the crotch, it has a gusset instead. They're super, super comfortable. I highly recommend this pattern. I believe we still have some in stock on our website, but I also have a step-by-step video course, okay, that we did. It's a very popular class where I walk you through every single step and the different height of the waistbands and the lengths that you can make this in. This is like if you haven't sewn clothes or maybe you haven't sewn clothes in a long time and you want to get back into it and you're trying, maybe you're still afraid of sewing with stretch knits. This is like that go-to open the door into garment sewing that I would recommend for a beginner because you make these, they're so comfy, well-fitting that it's like, oh, why haven't I sewn clothes before? Usually it's because you don't have the right sewing pattern or have chosen the right size. But in my video courses, I walk you through everything. We read the size chart. I tell you how to properly take measurements, how to select the correct size that you're going to make, and boom. And then y'all know, if you've been hanging around here for a while, that these Jalie patterns usually feature anywhere from like 24 to 28 different sizes. So this goes from like a little, this one actually has 27 sizes, and it goes from like a little kid toddler size 2 to I think a size 22, 24, something like that. Let me see if it's on the back here. Yeah. This one goes up to a U.S. woman size 22, okay? So very, very popular. I make these in all the sizes. I've been making them for my daughter especially and for myself since she was little itty bitty. And I used to teach this one when I had my shop in person. Is one of the beginner garment sewing classes I would teach to kids especially. Okay, so pants, that's kind of leggings. Let's talk about pants. I have a couple here that are different. Some are for woven, some are, this one is for woven, this is for stretch wovens, and this one is for knits. So we have a little bit of something here for everybody. These patterns come in, again, 27 or 28 different sizes. The first one here is the Eleanor. Believe it or not, I think this was one of the first Jalie patterns that really got me into checking them out just based on the reviews that I was seeing. I've never made these. I know that these were super popular. I want to say like in maybe 2017, 2018, I started hearing about this, or 2019, something like that, where people were like, we're wanting to make jeans, but not like traditional jeans. And so a lot of people were making the Eleanor with pockets, like faux pockets on the front and back. Oh, we're frozen, huh? Hi, we're frozen on the other camera. I don't know why. New cords, new computer, new everything. So we're going to reset it right quick and see if we can get back on. So I was saying about the Eleanor ones, because they're designed for stretch wovens, a lot of people were making them with stretch denim. and making them to be kind of like stretchy jeans and stuff. So I haven't tried this one yet, but I definitely need to. I would like to. And it's a way to come up or to make, just give it a second because it usually takes a second to click back on. We'll give it a second right there. Just hold on. Because it usually just, like you'll hear it click reset. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, camera. Super choppy. So go ahead and leave that one, and I would say get rid of the front camera then. And just give me that other one. And we'll just leave this one on for now. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Okay. Tamara says she has the Jalie Eleanor from my shop and she's never made them. Definitely, we all need to get on it. And this is one of the main things is that it looks like this, right? Like some cute skinny jeans. Yeah, just unplug it fully so we don't have to deal with it no more, as long as the other one is. All right, so here we are. We're back on. Sorry, y'all are not going to see my face, just so that it's less glitchy for you. The one thing about this I was saying is that the number of pattern pieces, look at this. There's only a couple. Literally 1, 2, because there's different lengths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Imagine being able to make like a pair of skinny jeans that are stretched like that with a couple of pieces, because that's not a lot. You know, when I tell y'all, if you're a beginner and you're looking for a new pattern or you're trying out something different, like a different silhouette or a different garment, I always recommend looking for a pattern that has the least number of pattern pieces. Because if you choose something that has 24 different pattern pieces, it's going to be a nightmare. Okay, just keeping track of it. By the time you're done prepping the fabric, prepping the pattern, tracing sizes out, making sure you have all the pieces that you need for the look that you want, trust and believe you're not even going to want to bother to fuss with that pattern. Okay, so that is the Eleanor. So that's for stretch wovens, and they're kind of like a skinny leg going all the way down. It doesn't have real pockets, but I want to say I've seen a blog post that Jalie has maybe on a couple different hacks for this one. And I did go ahead and link to this pattern. I believe we're out of stock, but if it is out of stock, you can add yourself or your email address to the wait list for this, and we'll let you know when it's back in stock. Okay. Next up, we have 2 more pants here. This is for stretch knits, and this one is for wovens. I'm laughing at myself because I forgot that I had this pattern in here, and I have been online looking for other patterns from different pattern companies for woven patterns. Okay, this is the Jalie Simone, and this is for shorts and pants. You can see on this model here how breezy they are. They're looser at the leg. On the long pants, you can kind of see that it's like a wide leg pant. So let's have a look and read the description to see what it says specifically. This says it's a pull-on fluid shorts and wide leg pants with elasticized back, front pleats, and ribbon belt that ties in the front, a slant front pocket, and it says it's the perfect pattern for hot summer days. Why did I not look at this before? I don't know. So I definitely have had this in my stash for years. We have this pattern in stock. I went ahead and put the link in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. It's also in the caption for those of you watching on Facebook. So look how cute these shorts look. Like they look dressy, but still comfy. It's giving cruise outfit. I definitely need to make some of these, especially if you choose a woven fabric that is a little bit more dressy, like more elevated than say just something as plain like a cotton gauze. Keep that in your mind, cotton gauze. I'll show you something in a second. But look on these pants for the little girl here. How cute. They're like a dressier version of a woven. It almost looks, it looks like a lightweight denim is what it looks like to me. So that would be cute for a woven, okay? Under the fabric requirements or suggestions, it says lightweight fabrics with a soft hand and nice drape, such as linen, linen blends, a chambray, rayon challis, crepe de chine, and tencel lyocell. So if you've made the Giselle top with me in the past and you have some rayon challis left, imagine making these pants out of a rayon challis, which actually this here looks like a rayon challis to me, just because I can kind of see through some of those lighter sheer spots. That is so, so cute. And even here too, like you could tell this is a lightweight fabric because I can kind of see through the short a little bit to where her legs are. I think that is just adorable. Put this on my list of pants and shorts that I absolutely need to make. Now, one of the things I love about these types of patterns is that before you jump into making the pants version and use up a ton of fabric, make it in the shorts so you can adjust the measurements and the fit in the waist, the hips, and the rise and all that. And then you can decide, okay, now let's go in and cut into whatever 3 yards or something of fabric to make the pant version. So if you have a pattern that is for shorts and pants, I always suggest doing the shorts version first so that you can walk yourself through all the steps little by little, right? With less fabric, less time, less of an investment to see if you even like the style and then of course the fit, okay? Phyllis says she likes the wide leg pants. Me too. I think that looks so good for both the shorts and the pants. This is definitely a must sew for me. Winless Original says, I like the pleats on the Simone. Aren't those cute? And then it has an elastic band at the back, or the back of the waistband, I should say, is elasticized. So you know that's going to give you a little bit more wiggle room for a nicer, easier fit, right? Because if it's something more like a jeans that are non-stretch and you have to make sure that the waist and the hips and everything fits perfectly because it's not going to stretch, then you absolutely need to know what you're doing, right, in terms of fit and the correct measurements and all that stuff. When you have the elasticized back here, or even a full elastic waistband, you have a lot more wiggle room. It's the same way when I teach beginners, they freak out when I tell them to start with like stretch leggings, like we just mentioned with the Clara, or like a stretch t-shirt, because they're like, oh no, stretchy fabrics. I feel like that's for advanced people. I'm like, listen, the fabric stretches. That's gonna help you out because it's giving you more wiggle room in terms of fit, okay? A woven is not gonna have that built-in wiggle room in case you get anything off. If your seam allowances are a little bit off, if you cut your pattern and your fabric off, you're already cutting into it a little bit more and more, so you make it even more difficult on yourself and run the risk of the pattern, you know, the finished project not fitting. So I always start my beginner students off with stretch knits. They are just more beginner friendly and just, you know, have that built-in added insurance because the fabric and, or the notions, in this case the elastic, can help, okay? Let's see, Diane says she can't hear anything. If you're watching on your phone, Diane, make sure that you have the audio up, because sometimes if you're watching on a mobile device and your phone is down, like the volume is down, then it may not pop up for you. All right, let's see. Maribel says, because I'm so visual, will you be doing a course on the Simone pants? I haven't thought about it yet, but we definitely could possibly check this one out. Once I go through it and make it myself, then I will know for sure, because you know I only teach tried and true patterns. I go through it, we produce the class, you know, if I'm gonna decide to do it, and I kind of go through and take notes on any little points where I think maybe students will have issues, parts that were like cool and interesting construction that is really fun for me to teach and kind of break down complex techniques and skills for beginners so that you can have, you know, achieve really good, successful results. So we'll go through this, but that's a good idea. I mean, I'll keep that definitely on my list, okay? Next one that I have here. Actually, we'll finish off with the Jalie and then I'll get into the other stuff that I have here. So this next one is the Sylvie. Y'all know we've talked about this one before. The camera froze again, Brandon. And we are hardwired in. I don't know why it's not working, y'all. It's not even over Wi-Fi. I wonder what is the deal. Yes, Diane, there will be a replay. There's always a replay. You can always watch the recording of the show. So hopefully. Yeah, you want me to do it here? Let me see. Try it. But yes, we always have a replay. You can always just watch the recording. Okay. Oh, see, yeah, some of you are saying you'd like the Simone class too. Yeah, so I'll add it to my list. All right, the Sylvie, again, shorts and pants and in the 28 sizes. So this one is a little bit different because this is for knits. They're calling for a knit that has 50% stretch, both crosswise and lengthwise grain. And so this one, let me show y'all what I did. Well, let's first, I guess, talk about the waistband on this one. And I think I've gone over this before, but I think on this picture you can kind of see it a little bit better. So this has a high waistband, and it's like Jalie's, I would say, kind of like one of their signature techniques on how to finish this off, because it's a high waistband that is contoured, so it's kind of coming in from the hips to the waist a little bit narrower like that. It has elastic, but not the whole thing. It's like this cool technique that they do to have elastic just along the top. So it kind of holds everything in without it being loose on the front or back, and it kind of really cups the body like that. It's one of the techniques that we did in the Clara leggings as well. And I think they have a few other patterns where they do the same type of waistband technique. So really cool, but my daughter didn't want this waistband. So let me show y'all what I did for her. And I did a little reel recently on Instagram that I showed, like I just held up the fabric and then I did a little transition like that into the camera and showed you these pants. I had a lady on there, right? She's like, I just want those pants. So here are the pants. This is just plain cotton spandex. I changed it the waistband completely. This is not the waistband on the Sylvie because she showed me some pants on some online website that she wanted. They're called, I guess, like the Priscilla pants or something. I think the designer, like the little shop name is Brandy Melville or something. I don't know. Something that teenagers are like into. And so she wanted this high yoga waistband that you fold down like this. And I'm like, we used to wear pants like this in the late 90s. Of course, they don't believe nothing, but look. So I changed it up. I basically hacked the waistband and I cut out like a doubled up rectangular piece based on the measurement of her kind of upper hip area, not full to the waist since it's going to get folded down. And she's kind of a little bit more straight up and down from the waist to the hips. So we took the measurements, we adjusted it on another pair of pants, and then I thought, okay, now we've nailed the measurements down. And so I ended up making these for her. So she requested a black pair and this heathered gray. Super cute. Let me see this one. You know, these kids are picky these days, y'all. They don't want nothing to look homemade. So you can't just use a sewing machine. So I did go ahead and use my serger on this one. So she has all her seams in there looking like it's store-bought. I guess that's the goal. That's what they all want, is for it to look store-bought and not like their mom made it. But this is, you can see how it's wide at the leg. Oh, and for anybody wondering, this is the size U that I made for her. Let me see which size U is like a woman's size. It says 6 to 8, okay? So cotton spandex, this has a little bit more stretch than 50% that the pattern calls for. So they fit her great through the thigh and then just kind of go straight down. And then the hem down here. I did go ahead, I didn't use my cover stitch to hem it because, let me see. Yeah, I thought that was why. I had to look behind me real quick. My cover stitch has black thread on it, so we're not going through the mission of changing it for this. So I just went ahead and stitched it with a really kind of spaced out and narrow zigzag stitch that it almost looks like a straight stitch here. So I had serged the raw edge and then I turned it under, hemmed it, looks super cute. And that's that. So I had cut out the pieces to make her another one in black, and I created my pattern piece, you know, for the waistband that she likes at the right measurement. Of course, on the other one, she was just like, you need to take off another inch off of here. She wanted it to be a little bit more snug. They weren't loose enough to where they were going to fall off, but like more snug when you have it folded down like that is how she wanted it. I think they turned out super cute, super simple. Y'all, you cannot go wrong with cotton spandex. Like, if you don't want to be spending tons of money or buying fabric that's like $24 a yard, you know, like really expensive, fancy stuff that you're still learning and you don't want to be cutting into really expensive stuff, try that. Okay, cotton spandex, some simple pants that are not leggings. I think those are great. Let's see. Rachel says, could pockets be added to them? They could. I haven't even thought about pockets on these. This one, actually, I didn't make it on that pair of pants, but the Sylvie has a little pocket right here. So can you see this here? It shows like money, a little key, and an ID card. And so it's like a little pocket that goes on the front right that you could slip in your card. So this is definitely giving, I need some of these for my cruise, so I can just put like my room key in there. And you know how on the cruise, the room keys are hooked up to your account and all that stuff. So that'll be cute to do. So I definitely need to try that out. But I will keep y'all posted because whatever I decide to do next, we're definitely going to have fabrics for y'all and a full kit, and we'll do stuff like that. Okay, so you have everything that you need. But we do have these patterns in stock right now. And the link is in the description box below as well as in the caption on YouTube. Okay. Tamara says, can the Sylvie be made with a ponte-like fabric for a more dressy pair? Tamara, you always have the best questions, and the answer is yes. And I will be back with some more info on just exactly that, Tamara. So great question, great hint. Definitely you can make it out of a ponte. This looks like kind of like a wool rayon blend kind of because it looks a little bit drapier. I do have a pair of these that were made out of like a rayon knit, like a lightweight rayon knit that's like a floral that I call my cruise pants. And so I think I showed y'all that one time where we talked about this pattern too. I need to make more of those, like a large scale floral, even bigger print than this with more colors. And then for those of you that don't like full length here, I haven't tried making these yet in a capri length like this, but I think that looks so cute to wear with sandals. Like this is giving definitely beachy tropical vibes. Okay. All right, so that is that other Jalie pattern. Then I have one here. Tamara, you were the one that told me about this pattern, I believe, several years ago. And do you know that I went crazy looking for the past year for these pants. And I'm like, I know I bought the pattern because I was supposed to make them on my trip to Cancun a couple of summers ago. Do you remember this, Tamara? I think you wore them to the retreat that summer of 2023. And so I couldn't find it. But of course, many of you know that we just cleaned out my entire studio here. And guess what, Tamara? I found them. They fell behind one of my storage, like the IKEA calyx with the different bins in them where I put fabric and supplies. It had fallen behind. And so my mom reached back there, she got the pattern, and I literally screamed. I was like, I've been looking for that pattern. So here it is. This is by Style Arc. This is an Australian pattern company. These are called the Ethel designer pants. They have a very loose, like the whole look and feel of these. There are inseam pockets. It has 2 front pleats here and here. And then it has a waistband basically with a casing, it looks like, on top. They rate it here as easy and medium, okay? And you can see kind of how it fits, how it's not really capri, it's like a little bit longer, and it's supposed to fit kind of loose throughout. I would say, unless you are, yes, Tamara says she did, the Ethels I wore to 2023 retreat. Yes, she says they're like wearing PJs. Y'all, they look so cute on her that I was like, what pattern are you wearing? I need to make these. So I'm getting to it, Tamara, finally, 2 years later. So 2 front pleats, inseam pockets, and as you can tell probably, they are designed for woven fabrics, okay? The only thing with these Style Arc patterns in general is like they're known for very, very skimpy instructions. This is it. These are all your instructions. That's it. So like if you don't know what you're doing, good luck to you, okay? You can see there's like a couple pictures, but that's it. There's not, I mean, this is nowhere, nothing like a Jalie pattern, and definitely nothing like one of my video courses where I literally walk you through every single step. This is kind of like, oh, is that what they want me to do? Okay, I think I'll wing it. So here's a size chart thing. The instructions are literally this and this, 12 lines of steps. So again, proceed with caution if you're kind of more new, you're not really sure how to put them together and do all that. The cool thing is that there's only a couple pattern pieces, okay? This is called the Ethel Designer Pant. Be careful if you're doing just like a plain Google search to try and find these, because I believe there's an Ethel shirt also. So if you're looking for the pants, make sure you type in Ethel Pant, and they're by Style Arc, okay? The cool thing I was saying is there's 4 pattern pieces. That's it, right? 1, 2, you're gonna cut multiples, obviously for the pocket bags, we end up cutting 4. And then you have this really long waistband here. Now, I went ahead and grabbed some of my, oh, Tamara says she watched the class for them. No way I could have made them on my own. Oh, okay, I was like, girl, Tamara is a pro if she whipped them up just from that. So here's the deal. If you look up reviews online, a lot of the people that I saw that had made these were saying that they sized down, okay? Let me see if it says here, the finished pattern measurements. I can't remember if I measured the pattern pieces or if I read it on here what the finished measurements were. Well, the fabric suggestions for this are linen, crepe, silk, and fine wool. Okay, so something super light, airy. It's gonna need to have some drape because it's so big. Like it's so much bigger than the body measurements. Okay, yeah, I can't remember where I found this, but anyways, I think I measured the pattern pieces, I'm pretty sure, and it was just way too much. So as I was doing research before I start cutting into my fabric, I saw that people were saying they can size down, 1 size down, because the amount of ease in them is so much. Y'all, I sized down and they're still, I mean, they're big. So I have not yet done the waistband, and the reason is a couple of the people in the reviews that I saw online were talking about how this is kind of like a dropped crotch. Let me know what you ended up doing, Tamara. Like the crotch here is like so long. So some people were saying that they adjusted it here. So I'm thinking I may take out these pleats. I don't know, maybe move them down some, like just pleat more like this after. Or maybe I'll keep them and just kind of create the creases. But I'm thinking I'm just not gonna add a separate waistband, and I may just go down like this and use some of this height, right, to make up my waistband. And apologies that this is black. This is just what I'm making them out of first, okay? I did try and whip these up on my serger just because, again, when I prototype stuff, I'm just kind of like throwing it together, seeing how it would go and stuff like that. There are some pockets on the sides, so that's, you know, fun and good, and they're a good sized pocket, okay? But we're gonna see what we're gonna do with the waistband, because look, I cannot cut this waistband template piece out of the width of the fabric because it is way longer, super long. And I really do not feel like using, I don't know, almost, you know, more than 1.5 yards of my fabric to cut a strip this way. So I think I'm just gonna wing like what I said and turn what I have here of the pant fabric and see if it's not gonna affect any of the shaping. I mean, there's not much shaping. This thing is just, they're huge. They're like, I fit into almost one of these legs, okay? So we'll see. Because I'm like, people said to size down 1. I might need to size down like 3. But we'll see, we'll see. Because I like them, you know, a little loose, but I don't want them to look like balloon pants. What did you end up doing, Tamara? Because they looked great on you. Did you go based on your measurements off the same size, or did you size down 1 at all? Okay, so this is what I'm doing with this. We have pockets, we have a couple pleats. They were super simple to throw together. Tamara says, yes, it's a weird drop crotch, but they're super comfy. She says she thinks she did her size. She did a cheap linen from Joann's as her first pair, and they didn't hold up well after washing, so she needs to make another pair. Definitely. So this fabric is like, at first, this is a gauze fabric. You can't even see. I'm going to try to hold this up like this. Hi. Can you see my face through there? But you can see the light shining through it, kind of. You know what I mean? But I think with black underwear, I'll be fine. Okay? So you see how it's kind of gauzy? And I thought, you know what? For Florida, this would be great. And I have this fabric maybe in like 5 colors. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll keep y'all posted. Look. Okay, this is what I want y'all to see. Can you put me in big in the front camera so they... And I sized down, y'all. What? Look at this. So yeah, we'll see. My little MC Hammer balloon pants, but we'll see. Okay, so that's that. Jerry says, aren't waistbands to be cut with the long edge along the selvage? This way, yes. They're just prototypes, and it's all woven. There's not like that much more stretch, so I don't think it'll affect, especially since I have to put a elastic in the waistband. But again, I haven't decided what I want to do. If I really like them after I wing it, then I may do them like legit the right way the next go around, okay? Yeah, Tamara says, so cute. You will love wearing them. She's like, I know, they look huge. Yes, I know. He put the camera back on, so it's working for now. So good, good, good. Now, aside from those couple different pants, and you can kind of see the little bit of a difference between stretch patterns and the wovens and things that we need to consider, waistbands, elastic, no elastic, all that kind of stuff. I went ahead and also pulled a couple of resource books here. This one I just got, and I don't know why I didn't have it in my library. I wouldn't be surprised if I end up going through my books and find it already there, but this is my friend, Dr. Susie Brown. Hi, Susie. So she messaged me and was like, hey, check out this book, because we were talking about pants. And so I thought, you know what? I don't know if I have it. I couldn't find it. So this is a Palmer Pletch book. Okay, if y'all are not familiar with Palmer Pletch, definitely check them out. I feel like so many people that have been sewing for a long time know all about the different Palmer Pletch method for doing different things. I know that my friends and I, some of us have gone to different classes and workshops and things where they teach the Palmer Pletch method. So I thought this would be cool, because this is an option for you to test and measure the size that you're planning to make with the tissue. So you work off of the tissue pattern to test what you're going to be, you know, cutting out of your fabric, right? And so some of us sometimes don't make the patterns that we want to make, because you're like, oh, by the time I cut fabric, I have to make a prototype, you know, make your first muslin and then go back in. So if you're somebody who thinks that you might want to try and test out your fit issues with especially woven pants, I would say, if you're just starting off with pants, I would pick a knit pair, again, because the fabric stretches, and that way you can kind of get into making a finished full pair of pants with minimal fit issues, really. I mean, as long as you're choosing a size that's going to accommodate your waist and your hip measurements, I find that knits, as long as they have a good amount of stretch, they'll at least be wearable, right? And once you get to that point, then you feel a little bit more confident to maybe perfect the fit on the next batch, right? But at least it'll be wearable. But if you don't want to fuss around with either knits, or you don't like wearing knit pants and stuff like that, and you want to kind of really have a tailored look to woven pants, definitely check this out. There's so much information in here. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, the amount of information, techniques, and teaching that there is in this book. So definitely check this out. And I put a link, my Amazon affiliate link, in the caption and in the video description box below. So if anybody wants to check it out, you can find the link there. And then I went ahead, similar to those Ethel pants that I had bought the pattern 2 years ago and never made, I had purchased this book that comes with 5 full-size patterns in it 4 years ago. I had looked through it when I first got it, because I got it on pre-order when the author is Jenny Rushmore of Cashmerette Patterns. I think we've mentioned them here before. She designs kind of plus-size patterns for like apple and pear-shaped bodies. I think y'all recall one of the patterns that we talked about before. Maybe it was the jeans, the Ames pattern, or maybe something else too. Like I have several of her patterns, but this one is called Ahead of the Curve. I put my Amazon affiliate link to this as well. It says learn to fit and sew amazing clothes for your curves. There's 5 patterns included in here. Now the sizes for this are not going to be for everybody, but you know, that size, what do they call it? Mid-size. I feel like that's what all the influencer Amazon shopping fashion girls call it. They call them like a mid-size girlies or something. So like size 12, this is US sizes, size 12 US to a woman's size 32 US are the pattern, is the size range, okay? Now, I went ahead and just put a couple little tabs here for y'all to, or for me to mention to y'all. They have an entire section called Fit Clinic for your lower half. Full tummy adjustment. So this is for fixing, you know, changing up the pattern that you need to do in order to get it to fit your body, okay? This whole green section is on fitting your lower half. So for pants, this is definitely something that we want to be checking out, okay? Crotch curve adjustments. I mean, the way that the information is laid out in this book, I was like, girl, why haven't you checked this out before? A full bum adjustment, okay? These are all different adjustments that you can make to your clothes and to the patterns so that you can make really custom fit stuff. A full thigh adjustment, a thin thigh adjustment, full calf adjustment. This happens to me sometimes, especially in like skinny jeans and stuff like that, where this is just so tight, it almost rides up at the calf because it's, you know, the calves are bigger than what the pattern or the, you know, what the pattern is that they use to make it. This happens to me, obviously, not in the clothes that I make, but in ready to wear skinny jeans and stuff like that. Then you have here, finessing your hip, thigh, and leg curve, okay? So sometimes, you know, we alter things. Maybe it's not that much that you're changing and really hacking the pattern, but you just kind of need to work a little bit on how to reshape in the pattern after you know you're going to shrink it up a little here and there, how to reshape that the pattern, okay? So a ton of stuff just even in this one little section here for working on the fit for your lower half. I mean, what a resource. On top of that, of course, there's a bunch of stuff here, but then we have the 5 patterns. And so obviously the patterns are going to be different garments. And so the pants, there is a pair of pants in here. These are called the Magna pants. Look how cute. You know, I'm a fan of a large scale wild print. I think this looks so cute. Woven, okay? And they're pretty simple. It says the sewing level is an advanced beginner, and it just is like a basic pair of pants. There's, is this the front or the back? This is the back. So there is an elasticized waistband at the back. We talked about that on another pair of pants up here, another pattern. So it says these comfy woven slim leg trousers have an elasticated back, back darts, and an optional side seam zipper. Okay, it says use a flowy rayon or linen to make refined casual trousers that you'll never want to take off. So I pulled this out as a pattern for me to definitely try out as well. If you're wondering how the patterns come, they're actual tissue patterns in here. Okay, so the 5 different patterns, there's like a dress, a shirt, a couple, you know, different garments in here, but they're all in there. And I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered this. That's why Jenny signed it. This was way back in 2021. So I definitely need to revisit this and check out those Magna pants from this book. But I went ahead and put my affiliate link again for this book. It's a great value because if you have a look at it, I put the link for, it's the Amazon link for it. There's 5 patterns included in here. Plus, I mean, let me even see what, so y'all know. So these are the different patterns. This tank top is a woven tank top. I need to make this. I need to make it. I don't know why I've gotten into like a woven kick. So these are the 5 patterns. So 2 dresses, 2 different tops, right? A knit, a woven, and then those pants. And if you see the price of the book, you couldn't get 2 of those patterns for the price of the book, let alone all this kind of fit information, full bust adjustment, all that kind of stuff. So I thought that this was a great reference book and a great resource to share with y'all, especially for those of us that are in that range, okay? U.S. women's size 12 to 32. It says sizes 16 to 36, but I think maybe that's off her Cashmerette Patterns' size chart, okay? So definitely something to look into if you are, you know, trying to make more clothes because it's all in the one. This one is the one that's specifically covering information on pants. Okay, so a lot of different stuff here. Fitted pants, you know, kind of, you can fit it as you sew it, extending the calves, like the similar adjustments, the ones that are kind of the more popular ones for the bottom half of the body, okay? And let's see, I talked about those, and I think that's it. I have a lot of stuff here, definitely have more samples to make, but I want y'all to be kind of checking your inbox over the next couple of days because I will be coming to y'all with more information for sure. I am waiting on some fabric to come in, so as soon as we get the fabric to cut it up, kit it up, and then I'll be announcing my next online course so that we can make some fun pants together. So I will be revealing which of the patterns is coming soon over the next couple days. So make sure that you're checking your email, your inbox, and if you're not on my email list yet, make sure that you use the link in the description box below or even in the caption. You can also go to craftygemini.com/newsletter and you can sign up to join our free email list that way. That is the best way for you to stay in the loop with everything I have going on here at Crafty Gemini. And that's where you're going to find out, get first dibs on anything that we're selling, kits, classes, patterns, all that kind of stuff. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Zena says, sizes for the average size woman. That's great. It is. Let's see. Windless Original says, I've been looking for a good woven tank. Thank you. Yes, check that one out, but also check out the Jalie Michelle. I did a course on that one, and it's a reverse. You could do a regular tank, a reversible tank, a tank top dress that has pockets. So we did that class too. I mean, we still have it for sale in our online shop, and that one has several different views in the one pattern, and that's the Jalie Michelle. I can't remember the pattern number, but it's the Michelle. And that's a woven as well. All right. Let's see. Hi, Dr. Susie. She's on here. Awesome. Yes. Thanks again for the heads up on the book. Let's see. Julie says, do you keep the elastic waistband from rolling after it washes? So that's a great question. And it's going to depend too on what the installation technique is for the elastic as well as what type of elastic you chose to use. So I'll be coming to y'all with a little bit more information about that in a future video because that's definitely something that deserves, kind of a chat of its own. Okay? All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and that you find some time to do some fun sewing. I will be in touch very, very soon, and I will see you in the next video.